Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to today's episode of the HR podcast in association with Alumni Committee. I am thrilled to have you all as we explore the dynamic world of human resource. Joining us today is Mr. Vaibhav Awasthi, HR business partner and an alumnus of IM Rohtak with extensive experience in human resource. He exemplifies how HR can drive business growth and culture. We are delighted to have him share his insights on the evolving HR landscape and skills shaping the next generation of HR leaders. Welcome, Mr. Avasthi, sir. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Simran. Thanks for the warm welcome.
So the first theme we decided on was HR and business strategies. So next two questions will be related to that. So the question we have for you is, according to you, how do you think is HR moving beyond administrative roles to become a strategic business partner?
I think HR is definitely evolving from a core admin role to a more strategic role, and not just as a strategic business partner, but as a strategic steward of businesses. So when I say this, I mean HR is no longer as someone who is just, handling employee grievances or just managing payroll and compliances. Today, we are looking much beyond it, as in how we can help organizations grow and scale as they move forward. There are so many different arenas where HR is contributing. For example, be it legal compliances, be it moving to new geographies, onboarding new employees, or how to manage your employees, how to onboard the new workforce. There is a lot of difference when you look at employees from Gen X, Gen Y, and now Gen Z, and soon baby boomers would also be joining the industry. How do you bridge the gap between them? How do you make the organization function as one complete whole? How do you develop the policies? How you retain your talent? All of that is something that is slowly evolving, and all of these are in the long run contributing to the holistic organizational growth. It's no longer a matter of I need an HR just to look after my paperwork. That paperwork today is being done by AI. HR is the one who is, sitting with the leaders, sitting with the CXOs, taking decisions on how to steer the business forward.
Understood. Thank you for that. So, as you have correctly mentioned, that there are certain external factors as well that affects an organization, and HR function has become more strategic in nature. So, according to you, for future HR leaders, what capabilities are essential to cope up with these changing external factors and as well as internal factors as well?
I feel one of the biggest uh, talent or a skill that an HR person should have is the ability to foresee what is happening in the industry and then anticipate how it might impact your organization and your industry at large. Today, I think we are seeing a lot of disruption caused by AI, and how it is, not just displacing people out of their jobs, but also defining new kind of job responsibilities. And so, for an HR person, especially in a scenario like this, it's important to understand what changes are coming in the industry, how you can upskill your employees so that you can retain that talent, and how you can attract new talent in your industry. It's very crucial to understand that. Apart from that, it's also very important for an HR person to understand what is happening in terms of the geopolitical changes. If today the US, let's say, announces some changes in their immigration laws, like they did a few weeks back with the changes in H-1B immigration requirements, how that might impact your industry or your organization in particular. So it is very important for us to have a tab on different happenings, not just in the industry, but also what is happening in geopolitics, what is happening within the nation, what are the changes in the legal requirements, or how you can integrate your new workforce if there is an M&A activity or you're hiring freshers from campuses, how what you can do to retain them, upskill them, to build your employer brand.
And adding on to this only, I just have one more question that you have correctly mentioned that in the current workforce, we have Gen X, Gen Z, and millennials. So, as an HR, how do you manage these three different generations in an organization? You know, making them satisfied with the work and providing them with the enough growth opportunities. And of course, with the entry of AI, it's quite difficult to satisfy all the employees of an organization. So, what is your take on it?
Definitely. I think Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z all come with different sets of values for them. I think everyone, if we look at that from the perspective of Maslow's hierarchy, if I'm to take that example, everyone's aspirations would be different. Gen X, for example, might be focusing towards more towards survival or towards savings. Millennials might be looking at growth, whereas Gen Z might be altogether looking at what I can do greater in my life. So looking at towards the higher end of the pyramid. So when you're targeting all of these employee groups, or not just employee groups, people in general within the employable population, you need to have an idea of what will catch the eyes of these people. So it's not just in terms of what kind of benefits you provide to your employees, it's also the work culture, it's the compensation that you provide, it's the kind of learning opportunities that you can provide, or the kind of career transition that you can provide to these employees, which matches their ambitions and career aspirations. It's a bundle of, uh, should I put it, total rewards. Today, total reward strategy is very important for businesses because it's not just one thing that you can cling on to. It's about learning, it's about growth, it's about compensation, it's about being employable in itself, and it's about enjoying your job. So today, it's very important for organizations to understand these different groups and form your policies accordingly. It is possible that certain policies might not be applicable or might not be best for a certain group, but it might be a success or a huge success for some other employee group. So it's management call to take the decision whether you want to go ahead with those policy changes. And in the long run, you never know where you might succeed.
Thank you for such great insights. So we have another question. So in their early career in the HR domain, what MBA students can expect? How should they prepare before the training period, and how should they prepare after the training period before joining the organization?
I think that's a very pertinent question to ask. Um, when joining the workforce, I think the first thing that really comes handy is how strong you have a grip on the theory part that you have learned in the institute. Because although it might feel like bookish knowledge, it can actually be applied in practice. You just need to find the areas where you can apply that knowledge. Quite a lot of times we are doing things in the workplace and we don't really realize that, hey, this is built on some theory that I learned in college. It's actually applicable and you need to be able to transfer that knowledge. Quite a lot of times we're doing things correctly, but we do not know that we are following a particular theory or a particular model that we studied about. But it's there at the back of our head, or we might feel it's just common sense. But all of that is stuff that you're taught about, and that is thing. Those are things that you can carry forward in the workplace. So having an open mind, being willing to learn, are probably one of the some of the greatest things which people should take when joining the workforce, because whenever you join an organization, every organization has its own way of working. They have their own organizational structure. There might be an entire different level of hierarchy or the organizational culture in itself. So in order to acclimatize within the organization and to take your career forward within the organization, it's crucial that you have that open mindset and the willingness to learn. I think that is probably the greatest thing that is going to help any fresher or even someone with prior experience join out the organization. And especially in the field of HR, with so many changes coming in through the technological advances in terms of AI, in terms of advances in documentation, and so many other features, it's important that you have that bent of mind to be able to understand and appreciate what is happening. And the faster that you're able to understand things just makes it easier for you to settle down in the workplace and understand what you are doing and where you can contribute towards the organization, because that probably becomes a focal point as you move forward in your career.
Thank you for that. Also, we have this term called personal branding within the organization. So, in your early stage of career, how someone can make a personal brand in the particular organization or maybe with their manager or team leaders. So, what are your thoughts about that? What are the skill sets or mindsets where you can create a personal branding with your superiors?
Personal branding is all about being someone people remember when they need help, or when they're thinking of getting work done. You're someone who comes into their mind. And that's just like saying, hey, if I'm thinking of toothpaste, I'll probably think of Colgate. So that is the kind of impression you might have on people if you have a good personal brand. And very small acts can go towards a long way in making a personal brand. Small things like offering help when people need it, proactively reaching out to people and offering help, or providing your inputs where you feel you have the expertise. A culture of learning also supports people sharing knowledge with each other, sharing your resources, your skill sets. And that is a good way for you to build up a personal brand. When working in a team, when you're working with others, there's a very good opportunity for you to show what you have learned and to apply that in practice. If you have perfected something, just go out and tell people. Just help them understand how you can be helpful for them. If they're having trouble with something that you are aware of, go out and help them. It might take your time, it might take some of your energy, but you are making your presence felt, and you're letting people know that, hey, I know something. And if you are a fresher, that's probably a very good thing for you, because you're telling people that, hey, I know how things work, and I'm not a kid. I know how things work, and I'm ready to contribute to the organization. I'm ready to help my peers. And all of these things will help in their personal branding.
Thank you, Vaibhav sir. It was great talking to you, and I think all these answers have cleared a lot of things about the human resource domain. So I will hand over to my teammate Sana from here. And thank you. It was great talking to you.
Thanks, Emre.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vaibhav Awasthi, sir, for joining us today and sharing such valuable insights. Your experiences and reflections have given us a deeper understanding of how HR continues to evolve from a support function to a true strategic partner driving business transformation and culture, especially in this era of technological advancements with AI and changing geopolitical formulations. We've also discussed about how policy formulations are especially important with different generations, with different aspirations work together. We also talked about personal branding. That was great. We truly appreciate the time and thought you invested in this conversation. Your journey is an inspiration for every aspiring HR professional here, reminding us that empathy, agility, and strategic thinking lie at the heart of great leadership. On behalf of the Humane-R Club and the entire student community, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to you, Mr. Awasthi, sir, for being with us today and continuing to strengthen our alumni network. Thank you once again, and we look forward to many more such insightful sessions in the future. Thank you so much, sir.